game tonight between the Celtics and Cavaliers. The first place, I'll put respect on their name, the first place Cleveland Cavaliers. A ton to get into today. I know we only have about an hour here. We can take calls, so feel free to call in, 617-779-0985. More NFL news came out today. What's the latest on Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers? We're going to talk to Alex Barth for a bit. Final day from the Combine, so we're going to catch him before he gets on the flight home. I know Garrett Crochet pitched today. I have bets for tonight's game as well. So a ton to get into in the next 60 minutes before we hand things over to Grandy and Max. Phone number once again, 617-779-0985. You can join us on YouTube as well. We already got people in there ready to go for a Joe show on a Friday night. We got Skaz here as well. Trent, our intern, is here tonight as well. So, the matchup tonight. And I should say that the leadoff take is brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Leadoff take brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Tonight's matchup between the Cavaliers and Celtics could be a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston leads the season series 2-1. Now, I feel like this is a spot where Cleveland has an edge, especially on the road tonight. The Celtics will play their third game in 4 days. Cavs, they've had their rest. I just mentioned this in the crossover. They last played on Tuesday night. Where I wanted to bring this up was before the All-Star break, Jason Tatum took responsibility for the way that the Celtics have been playing at home this year. We were taking some calls post-game where some fans were upset for their lackluster play at home this season. And so I feel like that was at least a message from Tatum that since I believe it was that loss to the Lakers, I want to say, where they want to play better at home. So that's something I'm looking at tonight. I'm wondering what Tatum, does he kind of, he's been awesome of late. But tonight he's going to have to do it without a couple of players. Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis out again tonight. So that resonated with me regarding Tatum caring about playing at home in the second half of the season. Also, the Celtics, how do they respond after a loss? Something else. I think they're going to be challenged tonight. They're undermanned. They can still win the game. But Cleveland has won 12 of its last 13 games. And their winning streak started with a 110-91 victory over the Detroit Pistons, who the Celtics just lost to. I feel like everybody, at least I speak to, or who we hear or listen to, some people think the jury is still out when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Clearly, they're the best team in the league. They're 48-10, best record. They have a one win ahead of the Oklahoma City Thunder. But Oklahoma City is the best team in the league. They got the highest rating. I believe they're at 13, where the Cavs come in around 11-3. But there's no disputing the Cavaliers are an elite team. The league isn't great. I think the Celtics are the best team. I've said it all year long. I think there's probably 4 or 5 teams that could truly win the championship this year. And maybe there's 2 or 3 in the East. Maybe 2. The Cavs are definitely one of them. So I'm not going to take anything away from the Cavaliers being an elite team. They began the season on a 15-game winning streak. Who broke that one? The Celtics. There's a lot riding on tonight's game. We mentioned that the series is 2-1. Cavs have a chance to even the series, or Boston can just own it going up 3-1 and really just owning the East and showing that the NBA championship still goes through Boston. But in the first matchup this year, it was an NBA Cup game. That game that I referenced earlier. It was the Celtics at home. They won the game 120-117, but they hit 22 of 41 three-pointers to win the game. Cleveland shot 10 of 29 in that game. In the second game, the Cavaliers, they matched the Celtics with 17 three-pointers, but they dominated inside the paint. They out-rebounded them or scored them 40-24. It was a 115-111 win. Points in the paint are one of the biggest concerns for me when it comes to the Celtics, and that game exposed them. And then when they met for the third time just a couple of weeks ago, the Celtics outshot Cleveland 51-33 from three. They won 112-105, kind of getting over that funk. But the Celtics have dominated the three-point line against Cleveland this year. They're 56 of 138, shooting 41%. The Cavs are still respectable, shooting 37%, 38 of 104. The Celtics have 18 more threes in the series than the Cavs. That's been the difference. And of those 56 threes, it equates to 168 points, where the Cavs, still shooting 37%, only have 114. So I know that there are people who talk about the three-point shot and that it can hurt the Celtics, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to their matchup against Cleveland, they dominate them from the perimeter, but they struggle inside the paint. I think Cleveland needs to generate more threes tonight and try to limit the Celtics from getting those three-point attempts. But Garland's been horrible against Tatum or Brown, for that matter. So the Celtics love to just overwhelm opponents from beyond the arc. We know that. They average about 48 threes a game. Cleveland averages about 39. The player to watch tonight is Evan Mobley. Now with Wemby out of the mix, he has a chance to be Defensive Player of the Year. He's been great over the last week or so. In the last week, he's gone over 15. The number tonight, the betting number, by the way, his number is 15.5 tonight. He's gone over that in 4 straight games. He's had at least 21 points in 6 of the last 10 games, and he had 25 against Memphis. The Cavs need someone other than Donovan Mitchell to score against the Celtics to win. Listen to these numbers here. Mitchell has 101 points on 75 shots against the Celtics this year. He's shooting 50% from the field and 36% from three. It's been all Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs against the Celtics. Now, we mentioned Garland. I think he struggled defensively, but he's been horrific offensively. He has 55 points on 53 shots in the series this year against the Celtics, shooting 30% from the field and 35% from three. This is where I think Evan Mobley can have a big night tonight, especially without Kristaps Porzingis. Against the Celtics this year, he struggled. He's got 38 points on 40 shots. He's about 38% from the field. He has hit 1 3. So, although he has struggled against the Celtics, he scored 22 points against the Celtics earlier this season, and he's averaging about 20. He averaged, 21 points in the playoffs last year. So, to me, to win this game tonight for Cleveland, they cannot rely on Mitchell or Garland. They need a big night from Evan Mobley tonight, considering Boston and the way that they shoot from the perimeter. So, the stage is set for Mobley to have a big night. No Drew Holiday. No Kristaps Porzingis. They should be able to attack the glass. Points in the paint. I mentioned the Porzingis loss. He just randomly missed the game the other night against the Pistons. Or was it 2 nights ago? He just randomly missed the game. Then he only scored 11 points in the previous game. And he's out again tonight. So maybe they're managing this thing. The Drew Holiday injury, it's a mallet finger. For anybody that's ever jammed their finger, you have to tape it to your other finger, but you have to put it in a splint in order for it not to go into that curve. Happened to me. I know many people that have the mallet finger. This is probably going to be something where he isn't shooting a basketball for probably a week or 2. Which, when it comes to Drew Holiday, fine. But this all happened right at about 1:30 today. And then Porzingis came down with the sickness. So the Cavs are rested. They got their new acquisition in Hunter off the bench, which I didn't even mention, who's been shooting lights out since the trade from 3. He should make an impact tonight, considering the Celtics are going to be a little bit short off the bench. Sounds like Luke Cornett's back. I know he's missed the last couple of games for personal reasons. I just think a win tonight for Cleveland without Holiday, without Porzingis, the fact that they're a little bit healthier, the fact that they're well rested. I know they're going on the road tonight. I feel like this is a good situation for Cleveland to even the season series. I thought the loss to the Pistons the other night was a look ahead. And I think the Pistons are having a hell of a season in what they've done there. But a win tonight over Cleveland for the Celtics, it shows who's in control in the Eastern Conference. As I've said, I think Cleveland's elite. I do. Winning tonight, I would not be surprised whatsoever. I just want to know if what Jason Tatum said about holding home court, if it comes into play tonight. And if it happens, the Eastern Conference goes through Boston. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. Also wanted to mention, we're going to talk to Alex Barth. He's coming home from the Combine. I know there were some Travis Hunter measurements out there, some other things going around as well. We'll get the latest from Alex Barth. We'll stop there. We'll get Skaz's thoughts on tonight's game as well. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub. All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. We're all anticipating the Celtics game tonight against the number one team in the Eastern Conference by record, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've already had some people chirping at me, so we'll get to that in a minute. But we got to talk to Alex Barth, who will be leaving the Combine today, and it's brought to you by Blue Bear Plumbing and Heating. At Blue Bear, they're here to keep your home comfortable year-round. From expert plumbing, drain cleaning, heating, tune-ups, maintenance, and installs, they do it all. Trust a local company your neighbors rely on. Visit bluebearplumbing.com. Actually, Skaz, you're going to have to pull them up for me, sir. It's Alex Barth joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Alex, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Joe. What's going on?
Nothing. You all packed up. But what? I know you're heading back soon. What was your biggest takeaway from Combine Week?
I think, and this might not be something people want to hear, but it's that you really can't count a lot on this free agency class in terms of upgrading the top of your roster. Even the players we're talking about, we have been talking about in that group, which isn't a lot. A lot of them are now coming off the board. And you saw that with Alaric Jackson today. Trey Smith reportedly getting the franchise tag. So it seems like if the Patriots are going to add significant personnel, it's either going to need to be trades or the draft.
Yeah. Do you believe that there's just this smoke at this time? Like, oh, the Patriots aren't interested in T. Higgins, but they could be. Or they're not interested in this player, but they could be. Or, yeah, I don't know if they like Travis Hunter. They're looking at a lineman. Like, don't you feel a lot of that is going on right now?
The Higgins one's weird. Outside of he's not available, I don't know why they wouldn't be interested, and I don't think he'll be available. Just talking to people down here this week, I don't think they're going to have an opportunity to try to trade for him. Outside of that, I think it's more all options are on the table at this point, which is usually the case. I'd be surprised they weren't interested in Travis Hunter after Elliott Wolf said yesterday he's both the best receiver in this draft and the best corner in this draft, right? So I don't see why they look at that and say, no, we'll pass. Now, they also, according to reports today, think Will Campbell is the best tackle in this draft. So would they rather receiver, corner, or tackle? Like, that's a legitimate conversation you're going to have, and that's what they're going to spend the next 2 months kind of preparing for, and we'll see how free agency impacts that in 2 weeks. But outside of the Higgins one, I think it's probably more all options on the table than outright not being interested.
All right, who has stood out to you? I mean, if we just look at the Patriots side of things, you just brought up Travis Hunter here, but I like how him and Vrabel had that, you're not the only guy to play both ways.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty great. But did anybody stand out to you as far as maybe they were bigger than you thought or faster or stronger? Like, were there any wows or guys who maybe moved up your board after this week?
Just through these first couple of days, and I have Combine standouts from yesterday on 98.5thesportshub.com. I'll have more up tomorrow for the group working out today. Jamari Caldwell from Oregon was awesome yesterday. 330-pound defensive tackle, was gliding around the field. Loved his movement skills. Darian Porter, already a big guy, knew that. Measures in today at 6'2", 190. And then runs, I think it was a 4.3 flat 40. Had nearly perfect relative athletic score. That's the kind of guy you put him next to Christian Gonzalez. You can have two really physically dominant corners on the outside. So early on, those are my two big standouts as it relates to the Patriots, but I'm sure there'll be more. We'll get the tight end group. They're probably going to start their workouts within the next half hour, and I would expect some very impressive numbers from those guys.
Yeah, talk about the kid from Penn State, Warren. I mean, we saw what happened with Brock Bowers last year, right? Like, he was the best rookie. I mean, I don't know. I know people don't love going after tight ends very high, but what didn't this kid do in college?
No, he's an amazing player. The thing is, the challenge is going to be, like, that guy needs to play, right? If you're the Patriots, who's your best skill position player? It's Hunter Henry. So if you're going to make that pick, you need to make that pick knowing you're going to run a two tight end offense. Now, we know Josh McDaniels can do that. He might be the ideal guy for that. But so I'm not against the Patriots targeting Tyler Warren. I don't know what for, because if Hunter or Campbell are there, I think they're better picks. But if they move back, Warren is really interesting to me. He's going to be a guy that impacts the way you play offense, though, if you take him.
Yeah. When I just think about a lot of the guys that are available, the Patriots need good players, right?
Yeah.
And just the fact that they have, 4 picks in the top 100, I am curious to see where they go. The talk is obviously interior, or on both sides of the lines there. But I just wanted to pick your brain on safety, right? Are the Patriots are they strong there? Is that something that they could look at early in this draft? And, on your board, are there any guys you're thinking about that could be a safety, or do you think that's something they'll look at in free agency?
So I'm actually writing about this. I'm kind of, as the guys are working out, I'm writing about, players that I think make sense for the Patriots. And I'm writing that safety is a need. Now, I think Kyle Duggar coming back from the injury, Jabril Peppers coming back from his off-the-field issues last year, you're going to count on those guys to be better, but those two guys are box safeties. Ever since Devin McCourty retired, they've been trying to play those guys on the back end, and they're not bad, but they're not nearly as good as they are when they're playing close to the line of scrimmage. I don't need them to add another box safety, but I think adding a guy who has experience on the back end is a little more rangy, and allowing those two to play in the box would maximize everybody. So in free agency, is that Javon Holland? Do you go top of the market at a non-premium position? They have all this money to spend. I think he'd be an interesting option. In the draft, I like Andrew Makuba from Texas on day 2 and Billy Bowman from Oklahoma on day 3, who's actually having a really good workout tonight.
All right, it's Alex Barth. He's joining us. He's about to leave the combine. I know there's a ton going on there. You spent the week out there. Did you get a look at any quarterbacks? And what do you think is going to happen here? What do you think Cleveland does? I know it's early, that your projection's going to change right up until the draft, but is there any shot maybe another quarterback moves up, or do you expect maybe a Shedeur Sanders to maybe drop, or do you think Cam Ward goes in the top 3? How do you see the quarterback play shaping up, at least as you're leaving the combine?
I would think one does. I think Cam Ward's going to go top 3, whether that's 2 to the Browns or 3 to the Giants. We'll see, and that's going to depend on free agency, which will also impact this, right? If the Giants had gotten Matthew Stafford, well, now you're definitely only having one quarterback in the top 3, but they didn't. So you move on. The new reporters, they're in on Aaron Rodgers. But I could see Sanders going top 3. It's hard to get a read. There's not a ton of consensus right now. Neither one's throwing, though, so we're not going to get a ton more information on them moving forward here.
Yeah, and Jackson Dart, who I think a lot of people are high on, that we did great things in college. Does he have a chance to take a leap?
I mean, people were really excited about him after the Senior Bowl. I didn't totally understand why. I thought he was fine at best. This kind of reminds me of J.J. McCarthy last year, honestly. Any quarterback, I'm never going to say no that a quarterback can take a leap, because teams get so desperate and so stupid at the position. I don't know that it would be wise for teams to suddenly get all hot and bothered about Jackson Dart, but I could see it happening.
All right, final one. I'm not sure if anyone else has had to ask you. You've done a great job, Alex. I know you've been on all the shows. You joined us late. We've tried to join you late, and then we'd had Bruin stuff, so appreciate being flexible with us.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I'm kind of talking quieter here. I'm sitting at the airport. I don't,
Hey, listen, I appreciate this. What are your thoughts on the no team on Hard Knocks, but it's going to be North Carolina?
I mean, Bill on Hard Knocks, didn't we want this for a long time? And yes, it's not with the Patriots, but I'm going to be watching every second. I'm going to be sitting down and watching that. It's going to be fascinating for what it is. I don't think we need to minimize it by saying he's at UNC. I think it's going to be really good stuff.
I'm interested. All right, Alex, enjoy your flight. Appreciate everything you've done this week. Excellent job. You got your money. They got your money's worth this week, man. You were everywhere, bro.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope so. Hope the company was happy with it.
You got it, man. I'll see you Sunday. He's Alex Barth, everybody, live from the Combine, heading home now. Killing it all week long. Brought to you by Blue Bear Plumbing and Heating. So excellent job by Alex all week long. I do have some notes regarding the injury report. The Celtics just announced who's in and who's out, so I'll give you that coming up in a bit. I do want to react a little bit to what I asked Alex there about Hard Knocks, which I think is very interesting, and I'm sure everybody has an opinion on that one. Also, we do have a giveaway. You know, we love giveaways. I wanted to give it away last night, but you know what? We just didn't get to that point, but I'll get that going for us. We got the headlines coming up in a second here, and just, you all know I'm a wrestling fan. I love wrestling. So let's do this right now. I see we got Trent standing by here. Right now, we have caller number 10 to the contest line at 617-931-0985. Will score a pair of tickets for both nights of AEW Wrestling at MGM Music Hall at Fenway. Be there Wednesday, April 16th for AEW Dynamite and Thursday, April 17th for AEW Collision. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster.com. Be caller number 10 right now to the contest line. We'll get a look at the headlines. We'll get you caught up on what's happening with the injury report for the Celtics. And I got your bets before we head out tonight. Cleveland and the Celtics. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Celtics and Cavs tip off tonight at 7:30. It'll be the national TV game. We got you covered all night long here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll have your post game until on the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Big thanks to Alex Barth. Excellent job this week, all week long. That is something I would want. I would like to go to the combine with Barth and just go to like a spring training game, or like just 2 spring training with Milliken, and then we'll eat chicken nuggets all night and have fun. Anyways, we'll get back to the Celtics stuff. Big game tonight. I have a bunch of bets. The Celtics certainly have a shot tonight. A lot of things not going in the Celtics' favor. But one of the final things I did ask Barth was about Bill Belichick and North Carolina. North Carolina will be featured on Hard Knocks off-season. This after HBO couldn't get an NFL team to do it. First thought is, love this. We actually get to watch Bill Belichick behind the scenes working with kids. I feel like anytime we get a look inside Bill Belichick's operations, it's good. I mean, for 25 years, we knew nothing. So when we watch these, mic'd up Belichick stuff or any of these old specials, it's Patriots porn. It is. We eat it up. If Edelman's got a documentary, we watch it, right? The previous Apple documentary, we were all over it. We were like doing daily episodes. There's been tons of them. The Brady 6, you name them, we watched them all. Right? I still got 3 games to glory, 1 and 2. Shout out Jamie Most. But I still have those. So give it to me. Give me Belichick, North Carolina, ACC. I want it all. There is a flip side to it, though. As excited as I was, I wrote to Skaz in our Slack channel today, man, I love this. And Skaz, you feel differently on this one, my man. Because, I will say this. Last year, the New York Giants, in the experience of losing Saquon Barkley, the best running back in the league, and it was detailed scene by scene, no wonder why an NFL team doesn't want to do it. And I know that Bill wanted to escape that thing for years. We took phone calls for years about, if they lose again, they could be on Hard Knocks. Well, now you're getting Belichick on Hard Knocks. So for me, I love a dumpster fire. I love to watch something that could be cringy, weird. It's why I watch reality TV. It's why we all watch it. It's why I was raving about the Montoya the other night. So, Skaz, you, though, don't feel the way that I do on this one.
I mean, I'm happy it's happening, Joe. I think it's good for content. It certainly gives us something to talk about. It's a perfect marriage. Nobody in the NFL wanted to do Hard Knocks. Nobody in the NFL wanted Bill Belichick. So I think it makes sense that they end up together. I just think that the Bill Belichick 180 is one of the more, shocking that we've seen in sports, from his, time with New England to now being paraded around in, media circles and Dunkin' Donuts commercials, and now this. I think it reeks of look at me. I can still coach. Please don't forget about me, NFL, that I still know how to coach. Please bring me back so I can break Shula's record. I think it's almost kind of sad.
Yeah.
Look, it's great. It's good content, good for Bill. It's great for the University of North Carolina.
There's many layers to this, and I agree with you.
But would Bill have ever done this in the NFL?
Hell no.
So why is he doing it now?
He needs to get that it's exactly what you're saying.
He's desperate.
He needs the rub.
He needs the rub, Joe. He does.
He needs the rub.
So I just and look, people that think we're going to get like some crazy insider Belichick stuff, no. That's not what it's going to be.
We're not getting that. We're going to get Mike Lombardi
coaching football.
Fest.
Oh, can't wait for more of that guy.
Hey, we'll learn. This is another good thing. Just to throw the. All right, I agree with you, Skess. It could be like, wow, this is really bad, especially if they're, Jordan is going to be all over the place.
I think that's tremendous, Joe. That might even be better for us, I think.
Oh, really?
Content-wise, bring it on. A train wreck would be great.
Is she working for North Carolina? Do we know? Is she like the cheerleaders coach or
I think
something?
she's
like that?
Bill Belichick's personal liaison. I don't know.
Oh, now she's the agent.
That's what people are saying, Joe. Speculation is out there.
Allegedly. Okay. Here, let me give you one more reason why. I love college. I know you love college football. Like we actually like watch college sports while we're here at night. I remember my reaction to the Michigan State half court shot the other night. We're like 2 weekends away from Selection Sunday, by the way. But anyways, my point is this will get people to watch college football again, at least locally, right? I know that here Bill O'Brien's at the ACC BC, and they won't meet this year. But can we get a little update on Belichick, what he's doing, the recruiting, who the coaches are, like a little bit of background? I wonder what other former Patriots are going to come in. But might give us a reason to actually watch the TCU game on opening night weekend of Labor Day weekend, week 0, right? Like, it might get other people in the area to watch college football.
Yeah, for a couple weeks. Like, I don't, like, yeah, and, UNC BC could play. They could play in the Fenway Bowl or something, at the end of the season. So I wouldn't completely rule that out. But I just think it's really funny more than anything else. It's almost bizarre that this is where Bill Belichick is now. If anyone 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago told you that Bill Belichick would be the head coach of North Carolina football and they'd be doing Hard Knocks, you would be like, what world is this? What has happened to Bill Belichick? But that's where he is right now, and he's going to tell you that's where he wants to be, but I don't believe that for a second.
Let me throw one more at you. Just one more at you. Bill can't get a job in the NFL. Didn't get one last year. Didn't get one this year. He interviewed, but didn't get the job. So in his mind, it's, all right, let's go to college. Let's bring the band back together. Let's recruit, NIL, you name it, etc. Isn't this the only way he can come back? Like, show his image, show that he can coach, maybe show that he can be collaborative. I just feel like, guys, it is sad because it's all he can do. And I do think that he could have been, I always talk about the drink with the little straw, a little umbrella in the drink. That should be Bill Belichick. That should be Bill. Kiss his rings. But he's not. He still wants to coach. I know college, he wants to coach in the NFL. And he's doing this to coach in the NFL. Other guys would tap out. Bill's not. He's fighting. And I know it's sad, but I credit him for it.
For being desperate.
Yeah.
You credit him for not knowing when to call it quits.
Can I give you another one? I'm crossing sports for a second, but let's use jerks. Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino went to Iona and made them a 25-win team. Got them to the tournament.
He went to Greece.
Then says, you know what? I'll go to the Big East and I'll win in my first year. And he did. Pitino's back, baby. Could Belichick be back? Is this the rehabilitation is using college football? And I think Pitino's done it in basketball. Why not Bill? Why not Bill? We're going to be watching it. We're going to be recording it every night, guys. We're going to be talking about it while it's happening live on the air. Oh, yes. Give me Bill or give me death. 617-779-0985. Paul's in Rantham. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Joe. I just wanted to go back to the draft. So I think we are in the worst possible spot at number 4. It's too high to draft a lineman, but then you get down there and you might not have a guy like Abdul Carter, who's that blue-chip guy you're looking for. But Travis, I think, is the better option. People are saying Tedero McMillan, but I think his draft stock is really going down. He's not participating in any of the drills at the Combine. He's not going to run the 40. And I've seen many reports that he's running a 4.5, barely squeaking into the 4.4 40. And that's almost slower than half the D linemen in this draft. I think he can't separate. The only way he can win contested catches is going vertically. and I don't think that's really going to fit in the Josh McDaniels system. So if there's anyone there at 4, it's got to be Travis.
All right, dude. I don't think they're in the worst case possible. I think it's a bad year to have a bad quarterback class, though. And you know what? I don't even think it is a bad. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I think this quarterback class is better than we think. I think the NFL draft class is better than we think. I think the free agency class is better than most people think. I feel like everything's just a smokescreen right now because that's what this time of year is all about. I would like to challenge someone that is tweeting at me, Skaz. You might appreciate this one. I said that the Kristaps Porzingis DNP against Toronto was weird. He was at warm-ups. He was warming up. He was in the layup lines. And then he just all of a sudden not playing tonight. Then he comes back, plays against the Pistons, and had 11 points. Tonight he's out. I know he doesn't play back-to-backs often. I get it. I'm just telling you, Porzingis was literally in the warm-up line. If they were going to sit him for the back-to-back, he wouldn't have been in the warm-up line. Am I wrong on this one, Skaz?
No, Joe, and to prove your point, Derek White said post-game that he had no idea Porzingis wasn't playing until the lineups were introduced to start the game. So, yes, well,
Thank you.
you know, he wouldn't have played against the Pistons if he did play Tuesday night. To say that, you know, it was a foregone conclusion that he wasn't playing in that game is inaccurate.
And he's not playing tonight when they need him against Mobley.
Yeah, I believe this is the third time in the last week and a half that he's been ruled out like hours before tip-off, and 2 of them came very, very briefly before tip-off, and I think it's been an illness all 3 times.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for verifying me. I just, with these people who are like, oh, it's not, how is it random? He's out. He was in the layup line, bro. He was literally. And then, by the way, the game before that, he left. And it was reported, hey, where would Porzingis go? He came back. He started.
Yeah, he doesn't look right. Whatever it is, whether it is sickness or something laboring, whatever it is, sit him down, get him right. It's how I feel about the Holiday thing, too. If there's even a question of him needing surgery, get the surgery, do it now. Why wait and see if it gets worse or you can't manage it, you know, when we get into the playoffs, when they get into the playoffs.
I just want the guy that's questioning me to know that we have the live feed of what's going on in pregame. Like, I can see what's happening. He literally was there. He was supposed to play. He was a last-second scratch. So don't give me your back-to-back crap, because he wanted to play. I bet you he wanted to play tonight. He just isn't right now. And there's a sickness going around. All right, we got a break real quick. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We're not going to be able to take all the calls here, but someone did just call and ask about DK Metcalf. Packers have a deal in place, or have at least offered the 23rd pick. I don't see why the Patriots couldn't be involved, but I'm sure Seattle would want a first-round pick, so I don't know if the Pats would give up their second and a third or something. I don't know how that would work, but it's possible. I just don't know why the Packers... I mean, I guess the Packers want to improve their wide receiver room, even though they've been really good at drafting wide receivers. We'll do the Red Sox stuff over the weekend. I know Crochet pitched today. We'll see if we finally get a Rafael Devers sighting. He's there. It's just he's hasn't really played third and hit, but he's going to play in a game next week. I wanted to give you my bets for tonight. Number one, I'm going Derek White over points. Right now, I'm using DraftKings. I have the DraftKings board up, but I'm going Derek White over 16.5 points tonight. Rig it! Derek White's been really good just of late. But just looking at what Derek White has done against the Cavs from the perimeter, he's been one of their he's been really great on this hot streak that the Celtics have been on. So I am going Derek White over 16.5 points tonight. Also wanted to look at Jason Tatum, who continues to be an outstanding rebounder for the Celtics, and without Kristaps Porzingis tonight, he's going to have to take on a bigger role. You can do the player combos, or you can just do rebounds for the night. But right now, Jason Tatum's over-under is 8.5. I would go over 8.5 rebounds tonight for Jason Tatum. The line opened at 7.5. He has averaged 8.7 rebounds per game this season. They're going to need him tonight. It's even money. Give me over 8.5 points. 8.5 rebounds. Thank you, Skaz. On that one. And finally, I think Evan Mobley is going to have a huge night. I would hammer the over 9.5 rebounds for him, but I would look at the player combo when it comes to Evan Mobley tonight. I think he has a really big game. I would go over points, rebounds, and assists 30. Evan Mobley on the night. So there you go. White points, Tatum rebounds, Mobley rebounds, points, and assists.